Okay, this is the usual thing where I have to test and make sure this is actually working because a lot of times it isn't. So let's go back here and we'll go on here and see. Okay, this is the okay, so yep, we're up and running. And the first thing we're gonna do is I couldn't finish this in one go because you have to erase. First you pencil it in, then you ink over it, and then you erase the pencil. So I had to let the ink dry, so we're gonna do that now. We're gonna erase the pencil. And the other thing is I use two different kinds of markers. I use, as you saw the last time, if you actually watched this, which you probably didn't, I used a Shark fountain pen. But fountain pens and these don't go that well together. So for the straight lines where I'm going to use a ruler on, we'll use this. Markers work very well with rulers, as do pencils. Now I have a somewhat better quality marker, which is this. These are referred to as plastic markers. I guess not marker. What the fuck am I talking about? Eraser. I have a better eraser than this, which is this. Part of it, what makes it better is they're a little harsher. So since we don't want to erase the ink, this is actually better for this type of erasing. For just a sketch, the Tombow would probably be better. Get going. Oops, I still see a lot of pencil here. And yeah, you don't want to use heavy pencil when you're doing basically an outline for inking. Like even your standard 2HB can be kind of a pain in the ass to erase. So I use a 2H lead, which is a harder lead and it's lighter. So it's easier to erase. So Freddy's got some shading here, but I'm going to wind up erasing that. Let's see, I'll erase the original pencil of what he had for hair. And I'll actually probably fill that in a little bit. I'm going to do some pencil shading. Once I'm done. And this is a parody comic book cover. And pencil shading, it's going to be basically black and white, which a lot of the underground comics from the 60s and 70s, and this would definitely kind of fit in that category, because they used to have something called the Comics Code Authority, and a guy named Freddy Fudgepack would definitely not pass muster with that. I mean, it was censorious, but the government was going to come down on the comic book companies. And they didn't want that, so they formed basically their own censorship authority to get the government off their back, which is what the Comics Code Authority was. And I'm not sure how long it lasted. I think it was around through most of the 80s, if not 90s. But it goes way back. I think it might go back to the 30s or something. I'm really not sure. I mean, if somebody knows, they can correct me. but they were pretty strict. Like, I don't remember all the rules. Definitely no homosexuality, even parody, which is what this is. You couldn't show cops in a bad light. So, some show like The Wire, a comic book version of that wouldn't have flown. Maybe The Wire could have squeaked by. Because, I mean, some of them were a little shady, but, there was another series, of course, I'm having a brain fart, but the cops in that were really rotten. I mean, they like murder people. The main character, I do remember the main character's name was Vic Mackey. Oh, The Shield, that was a show. The name of the show was The Shield, and that would never have flown as a comic. Because those cops are rotten pricks. Which unfortunately isn't all that unrealistic. There are a lot of dick cops out there. Okay. Yeah, but this is basically the last stage of inking, is when the ink is dry, you erase all the pencil. Fucking hairs. Jesus Christ, like a goddamn dog. So let's see. Come out, come out, come out. Yeah, I bought it. I mean, a lot of people, in fact, most artists like the plastic rulers, but I found that the edges of those get dinged up pretty easily, and then you don't get a straight line anymore. If there's a little ding, you go over the ding, you get a little, you know, it shows up on whatever you're using, drawing on. So, let's see, where are the blockers? One thing you want to do when you're inking, if you don't want to risk basically ink bleed through wrecking your drawing below it in a sketchbook, like this one, which I don't, is you put like a couple pieces of construction paper, and that will usually prevent you from having any issues. So let's see, hopefully let's see here. Oh, my vision is not what it used to be. Generally, once in a while it skips, but generally I get better. I get a better feel. I tend to get a better line using the fountain pen than I do with this. This is a Pigram Micron, and I guess the pros a while back used to use these. Then another much more expensive brand called Copic came up, and they're supposedly a lot better, but they'll also break your budget if you're not rich. I should have bought the ones with the cork backgrounds. Those don't slide. Okay, so that's done. So now we have I actually bought a set of those, so I have an 8-incher here. So if I can line the ground up right, the floor rather be more accurate term. Inking is just not my favorite thing. It never was. But you want to get that comic look. It's inking or nothing. Okay, so there he is. And so I gotta let that dry. And let's do a little just a little bit of I was going to say a little bit of coloring, but this is black and white, so I guess shading would be more accurate for this. This is just your standard number 2HB. And shading, anchoring, or anything, you generally want to go left to right so you're not smudging things up. Some people actually have special gloves so they don't smooch. You know, they're drawing. But I don't know. I mean, my problem with gloves is no gloves fit me. I have short, fat fingers, so for anything thick enough to fit my fingers is way too long. I thought my draw streams would be a little more chatty, but I find that with my brain, I just don't walk and chew gum at the same time very well. So even when I'm focused on kind of simple shit like this, I mean, that's what my brain's on. So trying to come up with topics when I'm doing this doesn't really work very well. One thing I got which has helped a lot is a little baby ring light. I think it's about 6 inches. Usually they're really big. They're like a foot. But I don't have a lot of space, so this is perfect, and it just does the job. I mean, it's decent lighting for the camera, but it's also really for me. because the general room lighting, it's not bright enough for drawing. All right, so let's. Okay, so this is a harder lead and a little bit wider. This is 0.7. The other was more fine lead, 0.5. So let's. Come on, Freddie, show everyone how beautiful you are. Fine as wine. Look at that asshole chin. So beautiful. Those eyelashes. I don't do a lot of ink shading because I suck at it. And unlike this pencil, where if I make a mistake, I can just hit it with the eraser. I mean, ink, you just basically, it doesn't work. It's either white out, which ruins your basic drawing. I guess it kind of can hide it from photography or copiers. Well, the way I do things is fix things either in GIMP or Krita. You know, think Photoshop, but in Krita's case, it's specifically geared for art. Not and GIMP is more. I guess GIMP is similar to Photoshop. That's geared more of a multi. Having another brain fart. It's less specialized. It's like Photoshop is the name. It's like, you know, fixing photographs, and a lot of artists use it too. Krita is geared. I mean, you can use it for photographs, but it's really more geared towards artists. Okay, I want a little wider lead. An easy way to get that is with a good old made in the USA wooden pencil. Although I sharpen this pretty sharp, so you're not really getting a dull, all that wide of lead here. Okay, that's number 2 though, and two HB, the wooden pencil, and this is number 2H. It's a harder, lighter lead. Keep that in the center and use a slightly darker pencil for the sides. mean, some people probably get all pissed off and offended with this, but basically, it's the idea is kind of like if Liberace had superpowers. Put the beat down on bad guys with his hard rubber dildo. It's hard. It's very hard. If you come from Boston, you don't pronounce your R's. Everything's, hard. Well, you park the car. Aveyard. I mean, I don't know if anybody's watched the Karen Reed trial. It's actually a pretty famous trial, at least locally. But from what I hear, that there are even like people in Australia that have been watching it. But you hear a lot of shitty accents like mine during that trial. It's like, ugh. I mean, I'm stuck with it, but I admit, it's a fucking ugly accent. Yeah, I mean, it's about as, a Boston accent. It's about as romantic as a fucking German accent. You think a German romance is some woman dressed in a BDSM suit. You will call me Mistress Helga. I will slap you very hard, and you will like it. Definitely not the language of romance. Trying to get a little shading in here. I'm not the best at this. I have received unconstructive criticism for my art, but fuck them. Here we go. He's got black hair, so he shouldn't be having white species, so I'm filling that up. Well, by the way, this is a US made pencil, and there is a difference between that and the shitty Chinese pencils made by Ticonderoga. Those used to be made in the USA. It's a very famous pencil name. All the schools buy those. You see them everywhere. You see them in stores, and they suck. I mean, I guess the lead mix has typical China quality control, because you get these scratchy points that it barely works for somebody taking it notes, and it doesn't work at all for somebody who's an artist trying to shade stuff. Your pencil all of a sudden goes from smooth to feeling gritty as fuck. There could be a few more, but there's like basically two American pencil makers that I'm aware of. Musgrave is one, and they've been around for a very long time. And then these guys are new. It just says USA Gold. And they're not the best pencils. From what I understand, some of the best pencils are made in Japan, not surprising. But those also are very expensive, so these do the job very well. these are, I guess I'd say these are midpoint. You know, on the lousy end you have Chinese junk, and then in the premium end you have, you know, Japanese pencils, maybe some German pencils too. And then the middle end you have these, and these do very well. I mean, I can't work with like shitty Chinese pencils. They're just absolutely grating trying to shade with those. But I can definitely work with these. Okay. And this thing's super light. It's a 4H. So when you want really subtle shading, or 4H. I'm going to thicken that out too. That's a little too thin for a title. Seven 4B, and I want a 5 4B. 4B mechanical pencil is fucking tiny, which means it's hard sometimes to yank it out of the cup. There you go. Make that dildo shaft look nice and round. Now, shading balls is something I'm not too familiar with. Guess I'm just going to have to wing that. go. A lot of people are good at shading with just one of these, but I generally, to get a better result, I kind of do need different lead hardnesses. So that's standard number 2. Up a little bit. I'm tempted to get something even a little bit lighter than this. Maybe that's a little too light. I hear the sound of fireworks. Probably just wishful thinking. A lot of people bitch about the sound of fireworks going off. They don't mind fireworks shows so much, but if some individual lights off their own fireworks, I mean, they start blowing smoke out their ass. It's like, oh my god, my dog's gonna shit himself. Oh, my cat's hiding under the table. It's like, fuck you. You didn't complain about the town's fireworks. Don't fucking piss and moan because somebody lit off a firecracker in their backyard. Get a fucking life, Karen. Seriously, lighten up, Francis. Yeah, I'm not liking this very much. Maybe give it a little more shading here. Let's see, do I need number 4? Oh, number 2B. Oh, okay, I know it's number 2B, but number 5. Where are you? Where are you? Where are you? Here we go. Still working on Freddie because he's marvelous. Let's see, it's 27th, so we're getting near the end of Pride Month. So I kind of had to finish this before Pride Month because otherwise, I mean, what's the fucking point? Looks like Freddie's got kind of tiny hands, so his boyfriends are all going to be disappointed. I'm making him look hairy when he really isn't, but fuck it. I never lied to you. I never said I was a professional artiste, or even that I was particularly good. Shit I tend to do is very much mileage may vary. You know, some things come out rather well, and some things don't. Living in the USA. While drawing this, I was thinking about disco. Now, disco, if you're going to think about Pride Month, I mean, the music that would best go with it would absolutely be disco. Well, probably number one would be boy bands, followed by disco. Disco goes way back, though, like late 70s, maybe a little bit into the 80s, but not really. It's more of a 70s thing. I mean, kind of went out of favor a long time ago, but disco really is a very good accompaniment to an LGBTQ lifestyle. Living in the USA. My streams are kind of boring. Music would improve them immensely, but everything anybody knows at all is copyrighted. And people's streams have been literally shut down in midstream over that. So it's not worth getting my crappy streams that nobody's even fucking watching canceled over that stupidity. Yeah, that's not dark enough. Let's bring out the number 4. I'm not a big fan of the shake advance. It's a kind of gimmicky thing, and from what I hear, they break after a while. Living in the USA. Why can't we be enemies? Why can't we be enemies? Why can't we be enemies? Big black balls. There are a lot of women like that. The bigger the blacker, the better. I can picture somebody bitching about this. Oh, he's racist. He's this. He's that. It's like, not really, and fuck you. Thinking I kind of miss the old Stern. I mean, the new Stern's woke and he just fucking sucks. He kind of self-censors himself, and the old Stern wouldn't have anything to do with that. I mean, he had characters like Little Fag Ralph and Wendy the Retard, who was an actual retarded person. And he didn't care. He just shit on everybody. Now he seems like he's a lot more careful about what he says, and who the fuck wants a politically correct Howard Stern? I mean, that's not who he was. I mean, I think his new wife basically cut off his balls. His old wife, Allison, was great. She kept him in basically a once-a-month pussy schedule. And so he's always walking around, with his balls overflowing in rage. Oh, he was nasty, but it made for great comedy. Back to this again. He had Wendy the Retard. Being number 7. Okay, where you at? I swear, every time I put something down, it just disappears. Here we go. USA. Let's try this fighting. This is tedious and boring with no music. Welcome to live chat. I don't want to learn more. Just give me the fucking, enter message here, so we'll just see if that'll get rid of it. There we go, I bumped it up. So there's no reason for anyone on a Friday night to watch this. I mean, I basically saw a bunch of guys doing live stream, thought it was really cool. Thought I'd do it myself, but I'm just not very good at it. I had a partner, and it was much better doing streams with her. It's just, you know, you can bounce shit off. This was, especially something like this would be perfect. You know, she could keep a conversation going. Keep me from losing too much focus into drawing. Unfortunately, she, as many women are, was very unreliable. Now, I understand that things come up, but fucking don't ghost me. Just tell me, you know, even if it's last minute, drop me an IM and say, I don't even need details. Just, you know, shit came up and I can't be there, and I'd be a little annoyed, but it'd be like, yeah, okay. But just waiting for somebody to show up and they're not there just sucks. It's like, I can't fucking deal with that. So she basically got fired. I mean, it wasn't immediate, but, you know, she did it a couple of times, just couldn't seem to grasp, or more likely give a fuck that I really didn't like getting ghosted, so. And believe me, like I say, I get that things come up, but just fucking tell me. That's all I'm asking. Just fucking tell me. You know, no details, just, you know. I mean, I'm not doing a great job shading this, but it does look better. I mean, it looks less flat. And let's see, boots. These boots are made for walking. Doot 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 doot. Let's see, I want these boots super dark. I mean, I'd actually almost be tempted to ink them, but again, my shading ability with ink is basically close to zero. So this is a number 6, which is the softest, 6B, which is the softest lead I have, and supposedly the darkest. This brand didn't get rated for being super dark. It is American made. It's not a terrible pencil, but Like, I don't even know if it's as dark as the 4Bs I have for my mechanical pencils. As you can see, like right there, that's super dark. And I want to shade this in with white hot. That does not look horrible. Oh, the disadvantage of a really dark pencil like this is a fucking smudge. Some lights coming in here. I don't know if this is going to be the correct angle of sunlight. There's a lot of fine details to drawing that never had any, me never having any like college, professional education, I guess you'd say. I'm just not prolific with. I always thought, and I kind of still do, that art school would just be a waste for me. I mean, it requires a level of talent that I just don't fucking have. I mean, it's sad, but there it is. So let's see. And we'll do this again. As you could say, all the pencils I have is compensation for sucking. Probably a lot of people just looking at this would think this is easy. It's not for me. Somebody else just said not for me outside. I wonder if she can hear me. That'd be kind of funny. Nobody watching the stream. It's somebody outside hearing me from the window and laughing. I mean, it must sound pretty funny if you're just hearing it. Alright. So, boots are shaded. They actually look black now. This looks like Fabulous Freddy Fudge Packer is almost done. Man, that woman is really laughing. It's like, whoops.
my God, do you want to know what happened to me today?
That woman outside is super yatty.
Oh yeah, he's canceled it. It's on a different account. Yeah. I've been paying it for the past 2 years. But it's only HBO Max and all that.
I wonder if the mic is picking her up at all.
No, I just put it on now on the basic account. Oh, I do now. Oh my God, because I just took out my Roku rack. And I was like, what the fuck? I don't have Paramount or whatever.
This was
So then I
supposed to
took
be
it
a
out.
short stream, but all the shading has made it a lot longer than I thought it would be.
I've been paying for her since 2022.
Ah, crap, I forgot to do this. Well, I wouldn't say I forgot because I mean, the ink had to dry.
Oh my God, I just never took a look into that shit. I wish I could go back to like when I first met her.
Okay, 8 backgrounds, 8 backgrounds. Yes, even a lot of the comic pros aren't super fond of backgrounds, although a few of them are really, really good at it. Like if you see a lot of comic panels where it's mostly black or mostly white, that guy doesn't like backgrounds.
Oh, because that's rough.
Mm.
No, am I being so soft? Okay, I love you. Oh, look at you. I just let my cat outside and she's not having it. Of course she's on fucking me. I think I
Province reminds me of those Skittles commercial. You know, they always have like rainbows. Like taste the rainbow. I mean, you combine it with pride. It's like no, I don't think so. I don't want to taste that rainbow, that's for sure. I don't know where it's been.
What? I don't.
Oh, Christ, I'm tired. My eyes are starting to get blurry. Time to wipe all the super scratchy crusties out of my eye. Just thinking, who would probably like Freddy as George Takei? Oh my. No, that's not the one. Where did you go? Tiki. Oh, duh. Okay, to erase the smudgies. Ah, doesn't always work. Cameras and scanners are really good at picking up smudges too. Look at this. Man, I have a very narrow. This little white eraser is really nice because it gets in places fatter erasers don't. Yeah, I do want this. The title thicker though. So let's see. Start putting some of these back. Okay. Micron number 3, way too fucking skinny. Micron number 8, exactly what I was looking for. I guess what dip pens are really good for is varying thickness by pressure on the pen. These fine liner markers and fountain pens, not so much. This probably would have been done with a better, with a thick-nibbed dip pen. It's still not really as thick as I'd like, but at least it's a little more visible. Oh, look at all the fucking prints from my shitty paws. Erase, 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 erase. feeling I'm gonna wind up fixing all the smudging and Photoshop, which is not Photoshop. I mean Creator or GIMP, which is something I really just don't like doing. Okay, looks like we didn't get any bleed through, and that is one thing nice about these microns. Compared to, of course, I can't find it now. Like if you're on a low budget and you're in you work in an office, you'll see this. And this is okay, I guess, for office notes and commenting, but it sucks as an art pen. It will guarantee it will fucking bleed through everything and take forever to dry. So a lot of people use these because they're free. I mean, you go to your office and they're there, and these can be expensive compared to free, but it's worth the money. If you have a decent amount of change, it's probably even more worth it to get a Copic. You know, if you can afford the best, why go second rate? But if you're like me and you're on a budget, you gotta get what you can afford. So let's see here. Let's see. We get a full. I'm not going to adjust the margins on this. So we'll just show you from the bottom to the top. So there we go. The boots are probably the less important part, so we'll leave them like this. And let's see, stop streaming.